Let's put it on this way. Oh, it's on. How lovely. I'm gonna get in trouble for talking about this, but if I don't use anybody's names, not that much trouble. Stalkers. I have somehow had 3. I am 19 and a half, and I haven't done anything I think that would be worth stalking me over. Like, nobody has any, like, blackmail info on me, and I don't have any on them, I guess, except for this video. And I'm not going to use their name, so it doesn't count. The first one was I think I was in 9th grade, so like 6 years ago. I'm old. Like 6 years ago. There was this girl that I was kind of friends with when I still went to that school, because for some reason at that time our schools were 7 through 9, 10 through 12 for middle school and high school instead of 6 through 8, 9 through 12. So I was technically still in middle school when I knew this person. And she was not the greatest at making friends. I tended to be friends with people kind of just because they're there, because I've switched schools a lot, people move a lot that I know, and just like, for some reason, I've talked about this before I think, but everybody I've ever met that stops being friends with me, it's because of one conflict that might not have even been that big of a deal and we could have figured it out. They just stop talking to me. Like, they're like, you're a terrible person because of this one thing, that's it. So I'm just used to people not being around that long. So most of the time I only make friends with people that like I have a lot of classes with, or like we like the same music or something like that, like really shallow. And the last year and a half has been the only time in my entire life that I've had friends for more than like 6 months. And that I'm friends with them because of the kind of person they are and not because they're there. And this girl was one of the people where I was only friends with her because she was there, so I didn't really like her that much. And she somehow didn't get the hint that I didn't want to talk to her, and we're those ancient weirdos that still have a landline, gasp, and she would call that too. And it got to the point where she was literally trying to talk to me every single day, and this is in the summer, so this is like, I don't even see her. And I had thought, like everyone else I'd ever been friends with, that because it was summer and we didn't see each other every day, they would just forget I existed. Which is like what I want to happen, because at that time in the summer I would always be traveling, so it wasn't like I had time for anybody anyway. And she would call us all the time, and like my cell phone, our house phone, like my brother's phone one time, I didn't even know that they were friends. So one time, my parents normally don't condone this kind of thing, but it was getting ridiculous. My dad at the time had been helping with the local Civil Air Patrol, so we lied and said he needed to go and that we were supposed to come with in case they needed extra help. And she called our house phone 19 times in 8 hours. We counted. Just to clarify, I don't know what the legal definition of stalking is because I'm not in law school, I'm in PR and OT. But I'd say that that is at least harassment, if not worse. The second one was also in middle school / high school. There was this guy that I had a crush on like in 7th and 8th grade, but it never went anywhere. So we just kind of became friends. He was like the class clown. He was hilarious. He'd always make the dumbest jokes. He was the best, okay. But somehow, like between 9th and 10th grade, I don't know what happened because we didn't go to the same high school. But something happened because he was not the same. This is how I found out. I was at work and I got off early and he had texted me and said, hey, do you want to hang out? So I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, I haven't seen you in like a year. Let's go to Taco Bell or something. So I leave work. He knew where I worked, so he had come to pick me up because I couldn't drive yet. But he literally just whipped it out. And I got out of the car and I was like, hey, Mom, I got off work early. For about 5 months, the guy would like, there's a school like a block and a half from my house, and he would park in their parking lot at night and try to like convince me to do things or whatever, and he knew where I lived, and that is also a problem. And eventually he gave up, I thought, but about a month ago he added me on Snapchat and he basically tried to do the same thing. And he straight up admitted that he fetishizes women of color. It's 2017, where in your mind do you think that's okay? He was actually stalking me because he knew where I lived, and he would sit like a block away from my house in his car for hours every single day for months. And then he tried again like 5 years later. It's literally been 4 or 5 years since I've seen him in person. Like, so that one, I don't care what the legal definition is, I'm calling that stalking. The last one, I did call the cops. One of my friends, I'm gonna say former friends, 3 times this kid pretended that he had changed from how he'd been before, and then ended up being worse. And the last time ended up, he wasn't stalking me, but his girlfriend was. She went on my Instagram and messaged me, "Can you please stay away from my boyfriend? I have no clue who this girl is." I'm like, "Who is that?" And she tells me. And I'm like, oh, here we go. So she starts messaging me these horrible things about how terrible of a person I am. Mind you, I don't know where she lives. I think it's in a different state. I've never met her before. I don't actually know what her name is. I just know her Instagram username, one of them, because I had to block 2 of her accounts and report them to the police. And she was talking about all these horrible things that I supposedly did, which I didn't, which the only way she would have known about any of this was if the guy had told her and then, like, you know, embellished it, because it's not what actually happened. For example, the reason she messaged me in the first place was I have the screenshots on my Dropbox. If anybody comments on this video, I'll send them the screenshots of what happened. But I don't want to look at them because they're so horrible. In his version, I had asked to meet him for lunch. That is not what happened. What happened was I said, I don't know if meeting you in person would make me feel differently about being friends with you again than just talking to you, texting, or online. She found out about that, the fake version where he said that I had asked him out, basically, and thought that that was me trying to steal him. So I said, go take your insecurity elsewhere. She keeps messaging me horrible things, so I blocked that account, and I didn't know this, but pro tip, you can report DMs on Instagram. I didn't know that, or I would have. So she messaged me from another account, really inappropriate sexual things that A, don't want to know if they actually happened. I'm insecure. We all know that. There's a reason I have a fitness account. There's a reason I spend basically all my time trying to get back in shape like I was in cross country. That was the reason I joined cross country. But I admit that I'm insecure. That's the difference here. Everybody's insecure. But some people admit it, and some people blame other people. So the fact that this random, probably a minor because the guy has dated people who were like 4 years younger than him before, y'all can call me a hypocrite on that if you know me in real life, because you know I've dated older people before. But guess what? Now that I am older, I'm like, this is really creepy. And I'm only 1 year older, so if your mindset can change that fast, yeah, there's something wrong. Don't let people know where your house is. And the third thing is, turn off your Snap Maps, and if you can't figure out how to do it, turn off your location services entirely for Snapchat until you do. Don't use locations on things unless it's a public place, and it's after you left the place. And don't give people your phone number if you don't want them to call you 24 times because they're desperate. If you're insecure, go to therapy. If you don't like something about yourself, fix it. If you are worried someone's going to steal your boyfriend, maybe you should take a look at why you think they're going to leave. If you're so insecure that you think a significant other can be stolen or a friend can be stolen, you should not be dating people and you should not be in friendships. I'm probably going to edit like 90% of this out because I don't want to be as angry as I am. But the last one really bothers me because it's like, this girl has never met me before and she's that upset about something that I didn't even say. And it just makes me go, I wonder how many other people that are younger than me are like that, because I know a lot of people older than me that are like that, so it seems like it's only getting worse. Don't be in relationships if you're that insecure. Just don't. Friendships, dating, anything. If you're that insecure, fix it first and then try again. That's pretty much all I have to say about this. I guess this is a longer version of my Snapchat lesson of the days, which will not be happening anymore because nobody is about to add me that I don't want to talk to. Sorry. If you know me in real life and you want my Snapchat, message me on Instagram. All the links are going to be in the description. Don't be an insecure pile of trash. Bye!